The direct negotiations between the Israelis and the Palestinians is about to enter its fourth month out of the 9 which Secretary of State John Kerry has given both sides. It is no secret that the sides accepted the terms of these talks hesitantly and without much enthusiasm. We talked to some of our experts to find out what is really happening behind closed doors. Israeli Justice Minister Zipi Livni, who also serves as chief negotiator with the Palestinians, says the less people will talk about the process now, the greater the chances that something good will come out later.
We need to not just to hope or to believe, we need to struggle for it. And in the end, it's not about what I'm saying today, it's about the results of the negotiations, and it's too early to know.
Former Israeli diplomat Dr. Alon Liel of the Hebrew University has a very bleak outlook on how the current round of peace talks might end up.
After 9 meetings, the sides didn't reach the topics, no content, only procedures and arguing about the procedures and explanations why Israel wants this type of procedure or another and so on. Very sad, because if the sides enter the same room and for over 2 months they cannot reach even the topics, it's not a good indication. From what I hear, especially from Americans, basing what they tell me on what they hear from the Palestinians, is that nobody believes it will succeed, and the effort now, I think especially the Israeli effort, is to have a plan B, to suggest something when the talks are collapsing, to prevent a total collapse.
Roni Shaket from the Truman Research Institute says that the fact that the Palestinians are staying on board with the negotiations is because they have other interests at play with the Americans.
The American people promised Abu Mazen a lot of money. I don't know if you know it, and if the people know it all over the world. The Palestinian Authority are living just on money that are coming from donors. That's all. They don't produce money. They don't. Their economy is depend 100% on money that's coming from outside. And if the American will stop giving them money here, there's going to be no money to pay salaries. No salaries. There's going to be no more. The banks will ask people to give them money. There's going to be no money. Everything will be collapsed here. The negotiation with Israel, it's not the most important thing for the Palestinians in this moment. Everything is interest, everything is politics, and even in politics, you have sometimes to play in order to achieve, I don't know, something even for the near future, for the far future.
Boaz Bismuth, the foreign news editor at the country's largest daily newspaper, Israel Hayom, believes the Americans do not kid themselves thinking a peace agreement will be ready in 9 months.
You always have surprises, and you know it's like hurdles. I mean, you know, like in the Olympic Games when you've got those athletes, so you know that it's 110 meters hurdles. By the way, here it's like 65 years hurdles. So you should, on the contrary, try not to be surprised by the hurdles this time. Another thing I would say, maybe which proves or shows the lower expectations. We had this big show in Washington when the negotiations have started. Both sides were there, of course, the Americans too. But the negotiations will continue here in the region, in the Middle East. This time Washington, how would I say, they would like both sides really to work and to work in their own playground with their own hurdles.
It is hard to get some positive conclusion about these talks from our experts. However, all of them agreed that the fact that both sides are actually sitting in a room a few times a week and negotiating is a miracle by itself. So maybe we are still up for a big surprise at the end of the line. For JN1, I'm Jacobsohn in Tel Aviv.